This place in Wheeler, Oregon has got to be the Winchester Mansion of antique malls. It just sprawls on and on like a maze, and there are flights of stairs and different levels, and it is so easy to get turned around in here. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and on our coast trip, we took the drive back up to Wheeler Station because it was so much fun last time. Just look at the old Punch and Judy stage. The building is an old filling station or auto repair shop, and it's full of interesting things from that time, and it's got that old building smell. And I love trying to puzzle out what the layout of this place might have been once upon a time. It is the perfect place to wander around and look for old stuff that you didn't know you needed or didn't know you were going to be intrigued by. I took a walk straight through without stopping just because I wanted to give you guys an idea of the scale of the place and the layout of the place. And then when I was done, I couldn't find my way back to my mother again. There are stairs here that go up, and then in a minute we are going to come back down, but we are not going to be on the same level that we were on before. We're going to be on some kind of a middle level. This place really wreaked havoc with my spatial reasoning, but I'm not too worried about that because there is so much glorious eye candy to drool over in here. My original idea was to focus more on individual objects, but really it is the experience of this place. Now, that was the mystery middle level. Now I'm going back to the street level that I started out on, and I think if I have it right, the street outside slants, so maybe my perception of what level I'm on is impacted by that. I just adored this place. And once we were done there, we headed for the big bookstore in Lincoln City. I had not been in here probably since I was a kid. I love old bookstores, and there are so few of them left, at least in my neck of the woods. They seem to be disappearing at an alarming rate, especially compared to what there was in the late 70s, early 80s when I was growing up and first falling in love with bookstores. This one, again, it's a maze. I got lost in here. I wandered around and then decided I had to get some video of this to share with you and wanted to go back and get some footage of the fireplace that I had fallen in love with, except it took me a while of wandering to find the spot where the fireplace was. Never mind figuring out where I had left my mother. It's wonderful to live in the age of cell phones where when all else fails, you can just send a text message. The smell of old books is just my favorite thing. And this isn't the kind of used bookstore I worked in after school when I was in high school and the place where I met my husband, but those wooden shelves are so similar in different old bookstores that it still conjures up that feeling. This place has so much artwork on the walls, and it is original cover art from old books and magazines. I could have spent half the afternoon looking around just at the stuff hanging on the walls before I even started to look at the books. I can't think of another bookstore I've ever been in that matches the sheer size of this one. I'm sure that Powell's up in Portland does, but I haven't been up there in forever. And I'm just busy drooling over this one right now. I'd love to know how many books they have. There is the fireplace. And the books about witchcraft are there next to the fireplace. And can just picture a couple of my friends settling in there to browse. Remember the big little books? I never had any of the hardback ones, so I don't know if those are a different publisher than the ones I had in my own childhood. Mine were Donald Duck and I think the Pink Panther. There was a horror one I wanted but never got, and one of these days I'm going to stumble across a copy of that one. It would probably help if I knew the title, but how much do you remember from when you were 7 or 8 or whatever? I collect old vintage children's books, and this room is nothing but. That was Three Investigators right there. There was a shelf of Hardy Boys, a shelf of the Whitman cellophane editions. And the smell of these is so much different than the other old books. I'm going to post on a couple collector groups I belong to and see if it is just me being crazy or if this is a real phenomenon. I hope that you enjoyed wandering through all the eye candy with me. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I'll be back with you with more videos soon. We did a lot of thrifting and a lot of antiquing, and of course, now that I'm home, I'm back to thrifting at my local stores.